the books, can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, February 27th. We're almost done with February. That means March. That means madness. That means college basketball. We've got college basketball today. We've got NBA. We've got NHL. There's action on the tennis scene. There's also some international soccer here today. Going on here with some Friday fixtures, including Aston Villa and Wolves today, Cagliari and Parma, Alaves and Levante today, Bundesliga as well, Cologne and Augsburg, and Mexican League action tonight. My Tijuana Xolos are in action. We're trying to find some sports here. We do have a brief NBA card, 5 games, 4 on the ice, and we'll look at those college games as well. Thank you for joining me here on the show here for Friday. And how's your sports betting weekend going to go here this week? We're going to be here, of course, on the Sports Money Network here tomorrow for UFC Mexico City at the Arena Sede MX in Mexico City for Moreno versus Kavanaugh. Flyweights take center stage, top 15 contenders in Mexico City. Everything's calmed down, I guess, down there. You know, we'll see what happens. I think the cartels only work weekends, so maybe it'll pop up again. But we're going to have our fight card here, business as usual in Mexico City this week for fight night. We'll be here tomorrow with our coverage for UFC Mexico City. Make sure you join us here at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for the fight card here. We'll have Mikey, Jeff, and myself here on Saturday, and you can get your handicapping started for this weekend's action with BB MMA Picks. We previewed 3 fights this week, and check out the video underneath the live tab for our previews. We previewed not only the main event, but 2 other fights this week, including Chino Vera and David Martinez, and one other fight here this week. So check it out with BB MMA Picks here on for Saturday. And our guest this week was none other than the mayor of Narrative Nation, George Gennaro, who joined us this week on the Sports Money Network. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We'll get the show started here. I guess we won't be here for very long, but we got to have some previews today and some picks. Had a much better day yesterday, that's for sure, especially on the premium side over at winnable.com/Ramon, where I had a pretty strong day yesterday with some winners here. Let's see if we can at least take a peek at them. I don't know here how the layout will look. But I'm also in action here right now with our sports money premiums with Daniil Medvedev in action here right now. There we are. Oh, just see, is it coming up there? Let me go at least to the other layout here so I can get, there we go, so we can get that in there over at winnable.com. I'm in action right now with Medvedev here on the money line over FAA. He's up 4-1 in the second set here. Already won the first set 6-4, so you can check those plays out over there. And yesterday, definitely plenty of winners here. College basketball had a winner there with Sam Houston and Florida International game to go over yesterday. Had Montana and Sac State to go under. Had Cal Baptist and Arlington there to go under as well. NBA couldn't quite get home there, but more college action on the free side. We had St. Bonaventure over Rhode Island, or as I like to call them I guess I call them Rhode Islander there. But that one I sent out. It was ironic that Mikey, I subscribe to Mikey's picks, and we both sent out that play right around the same time. I think, I don't know if he saw it like I did, but Rhode Island had basically their two top players out of the game there yesterday, right at game time within the last few minutes. Both of their top players were ruled out of the game, and I came in with a little play there on St. Bonaventure. They crushed, actually, in that game. We had a good sweep of the card here with tennis yesterday. I guess I'm hot in tennis right now, so you might want to get over to winnable.com so you get my second play of the day here with ATP action from Dubai here, as we're in the Dubai Duty-Free Championships here right now. So yesterday, rolled a good card there as well. I think we had maybe a little typo in there, but it should have been a sweep there. I think the Kaboli match is missing there. Hope nobody got two. Oh, there it is. Okay. It looks like it duplicated there. There's the Kaboli match. There we go. We had 3-0, not 4-0. I think there's something with AI might have grabbed it there. Europa League, 3-0-1 there, I believe, in Europa League yesterday. Lille and Red Star under 2.5. That was an under. Panathinaikos plus a half a goal was, I believe, 1-1 in regulation. Celta de Vigo over PAOK. We got that one done as well. I think Bologna ended up with a push. Won a VIP selection also there with Maine. So you got to check these plays out over at winnable.com. Don't check out is the golf here. And my two guys at the top here, Mitchell and Neergaard Peterson, were at least on the board there a little bit under par. The rest of the guys could have rolled the dice with some other guys and did better than this. So, hey, check me out, though, over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages here. And when you do, you'll be getting those plays. There we go. Let me see if I can't put me back up here. Oh, there we go. And get the plays from me over at winnable.com. All right. Thanks. I want to say hello to everyone here right now in the chat. And also let everyone know that you can get more plays from me here, actually. When you comment in the chat, I'll put you in a drawing at the end of the show, and someone will win 1 month worth of plays. I mean, I think they paid for themselves yesterday. And that's good because I was in a little bit of a slump and we pretty much crushed the card, actually. Nuke is here today to get us started, and Greg Gibson's here. He's got Charlotte Spurs, the winners for yesterday. Nuke says only 21 college basketball games today. Also, Greg Gibson here talking about that. Hey, we had Phoenix here yesterday, didn't we? We had some winners here yesterday on the Morning Steam show. We had the over with the Heat, and the Sixers brought home a winner there. We had the Hornets yesterday over the Pacers. Remember what we said? We're going against the tankers here. Spurs over the Nets. Yep, against the tankers. We had the Hawks over the Wizards against the tankers there yesterday. So that's the way we've been aiming it here. We also had the Suns as our pick here yesterday there in that one. Also, Andrew K., he loved the Soviet Union. You know, it's just to show you how the times have changed, right? I mean, you think of the old CCCP. You know, I had now look, there was still a Cold War and everything, but you know, it wasn't so bad that as a kid I had a piece of, I don't know why I got it. There was a picture of me, and I don't know if there was a joke on me. I probably was 8 years old, and I had like I think it was probably for gymnastics or skating. I don't know, but I actually had. I don't know if my mom thought it was cool or I thought it was cool at the time. I didn't know I was being maybe a communist. I had a piece of uh, clothing that had CCCP. It was like marketed that way. At the time, we didn't really. I mean, yeah, there was a Cold War, but you didn't look at it as a total United States, and of course it was so we called the Soviet Union back then, not Russia. Good morning to Philly Eagle Flyer. Nuke's going to take Yale here tonight. In that game, we'll preview the Yale game here, I believe, tonight against Cornell, one of our preview games in the Ivy League. And Twisted says they weren't the best in 1980. You know what? They still might have been the best. Greg says Minnesota playing better on the road. Good morning to Twisted in here. We're going to play college baseball today. That's what we're going to do. I don't have any plays for the show in college baseball. Probably should have, but we're definitely going to have a college baseball card coming out here very, very soon today. It's probably the featured, I'm going to have some NBA. I might have an NHL with this limited card. But I'm going to have probably 7 or 8. I'm going to have a college baseball card for sure. Hey, everyone, like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Checking some of the news here. We might see if we get something. Well, even today, I think today will be the biggest day of spring training betting for a lot of people, maybe who just looking for some action. Also, we get into the first real big time weekend here a little bit. And Twisted had a good day yesterday. Blake is here today. Also, there's Ron. Hi, Ron. Play. They've got some steam coming in right now. Let's first interrupt the programming here real quick while I'm saying hello to everyone and get a couple of plays in here just right now. Steam coming in. That's what we're here for. I mean, yes, we want Ramon's plays. What does Ramon have? Oh, God. This is the most important information here. Siena and your plays, of course. Siena and Fairfield. Here's some steam to the under in this one with Siena and Fairfield. It was 144.5, but the steam just came in moments ago, and we're seeing the steam take this one lower here right now with Siena and Fairfield. That one's down to 143. 1.5 point move there to the under. And just, I know you heard it. I heard it too. Just when we were getting started. Monroe and Troy. Steam to the under there with Monroe and Troy. It was 156, but now it's 155. Not a big move there, but definitely came in here. Steam to the under, Monroe and Troy. To the under down to 155. All right, Daniil Medvedev has won. That's a winner for me in the win club to start the day off. It's the first result I even can think of here. I don't think there was any Aussie basketball or maybe there was some crazy soccer out there. But Daniil Medvedev, easy victory in an hour and 22 minutes over Felix here to put us on the board with a winner. So, hey, get over there and subscribe and get my second play coming up right now. Maybe you have the winner of the next match, but if you want to subscribe, we've got Rublev and Greek Spore coming up, and I've got the winner on the game spread up next here. Go over to winnable.com. Make sure you subscribe for that one coming up here just as soon as they clear the court, get the warm-up started here, probably start at the top of the hour. Actually, it says 10:05 Eastern, 7:05 Pacific. Rublev and Greek Sport. Off some more plays later, but I wanted to come out with the Dubai semis there right now. So, all right, and that's it. And Felix taking a bow here, of course. That's probably as we know, it's it for Felix. All right, also Coastal Carolina and James Madison, some steam to the over as well. It was 139.5 up to 140.5. All right, who else is here today? Bobby Mack is with us as well. And Greg said, like I said, Greg, we're rolling against those tank teams. I mean, even I'm doing it. It's not, cheating. You're just picking it here. Almost, I say it like, it's unfair, right? They put the odds up and you still just pound it. Good morning to Jim. Good morning to M the Great. All right. And let's see here. Greg says he's been betting on Michigan State since the days of Terrell. He's got his CCCP favorites in there. How about Vladislav Tretiak? Was he the coach? Was it did I say it right? Vladislav Tretiak? Wasn't he the head coach of the Russian team? I don't know if I'm down. It's something like that. Google him. Let me know if I got it right in the chat. It's funny you think about, right? I mean, remember the thing was Russians. There wasn't really a KHL. That was their best team, and the thing about the U.S. when they won in Lake Placid was they were amateurs, right? That's why, no matter how you look at the greatness of that moment this week, and look, it was great. It was a game of the century. It's what you want. I mean, the guys are playing for pride and everything, but it was different when the amateurs, played and the pros were not in the Olympics. You look at it even today, right? In other sports, tennis, golf, whatever, even baseball is coming back to the Olympics, and don't forget, we've got the next week. Is it next week? 2 weeks? We're starting up with the World Baseball Classic. And there's been, I don't know if anybody tracked the action yesterday, but FIBA Americas was going on. The United States lost to the Dominican Republic. I don't recall the score, but I think they lost by double digits. They were favored by 14. It's easy to come on here and say I bet the Dominican Republic, but I did almost blindly. I mean, I know what the way it works with the just like it is right now. You're not going to pull the NBA players out to go play for the national team right now. They have a kind of a national team. Tretiak was the goalie. Thank you, Andrew. Who was the coach? Oh, God, now I want to look that up here. Tretiak was the goalie, yep. Who was the coach, man? Anybody remember? You guys, I'm sure somebody just watched Miracle or something within the last week or two. All right. Thanks, everybody, for the fun comments here as we get started with our coverage today. First, let's talk about maybe a few more games from last night. Had another winning day also in the NHL here yesterday. Finally, yeah, I was a little bit tilted. I still, got to make up for a rough start to the week, but we definitely we could have been better in NHL there yesterday. Some of them kind of got beat here at the end of the games, but New Jersey and Pittsburgh, we had the under as a winner here on the morning steam. We had the Florida Panthers yesterday against Toronto here on the show. We also had Columbus and Boston under, Tampa Bay and Carolina over. We went 4-2 there in the 7:00 block. Then I came home with the Flyers. They eventually got it done in that game against the Rangers there. Also, we had the Minnesota Wild yesterday. Andrew talked about some of the plays in there he had as well. I had the under in that Flames game against the Sharks. That was a winner there yesterday. And I had the over in the Kings and the Oilers. So I came back strong there with plays in the NHL. Hey, also college basketball last night. How about some of the games there? How about Michigan State? Hey, we had them here, right? Well, let me make sure I got that right. No, we had the total on the show here. It was another show. I was on Michigan State, but Michigan State beats Purdue 76-70. Michigan State's a three-way tie for third place. Purdue just 5-5 after that 17-1 start. That will happen in conference play, right? Very balanced game there. Hey, here's some steam right now. Let me see here. Appalachian State and Texas State. Hey, this one's in the preview. Steam coming into the over right now. This is something I can get behind here. It got bid down all the way to 132. I'm so bad at timing the market. I was on a show last night saying go over 135. But right now it's back up to 134.5 here right now with Appalachian State and Texas State, some steam to the over coming in right now in that one. Also, Irvine edged Northridge there yesterday. I was on the over, but Irvine got a layup. Did you see it? They got a layup on an out-of-bounds play underneath the basket, play at the buzzer to win the game. How do you let that happen? The Anteaters won in Northridge for the 11th year in a row. How did I not see that coming? That sounds right up my alley, but I was on Northridge in that game. It was a 1-point game. The spread was one the other way. So Hawaii beat Davis in a big one there in the Big West, 77-73. Hawaii is one of the top defensive teams in the country. They're playing out there in the Big West, but you can't overlook the job that they've done here defensively. They're tied with Cal Irvine atop the Big West standings after that win there, of course, by the Anteaters. Montana State beat Portland State 84-69. Not necessarily an upset. I think Montana State was actually favored. Vikings have lost 3 and 4, but they're still leading the Big Sky by a game. They're hanging on. Wichita beat Memphis on the road 88-82. Memphis, a dismal 13 of 27 from the foul line. Shockers have won 4 in a row and 9 of their last 11. Memphis, this is a kind of a low point for them. You wonder if Coach Benny's extended his stay here. They haven't had a losing season since year 2000, so a little bit rough there. Kennesaw over Liberty 74-65 as Liberty lost again on the road this time to that decent Kennesaw team. For sure, Kennesaw, they're not very good in three-point range, but they were knocking them down last night. And St. Thomas beat North Dakota State there yesterday 84-62 in that one. The Tommies look good, but North Dakota State's still going to be the top seed in the Summit tournament. And I think that is it here from the from the college ranks. Going to get started with the show here. Thank you for all your comments in there. Not her Twisted, not Herb Brooks. Who was the rusher? Who was the coach of the Soviet Union? He was a famous dude too, and I want to look it up. Man, I want to look it up. I know Herb Brooks, but remember he was with Minnesota with the. All right, let's get going here with the show, and like I said, I'm going to have probably college baseball today. Several games, so we'll have a little bit of free plays over there at winnable.com. But if you want to get a college package from me here at with my college plays, let me know. All right, just go over to Winnable. Here we go. I'm going to get started here. First up, we go to the NBA for our 5-game card here. We've got the Cavs taking on the Detroit Pistons. Pistons favored here by 6. Total here, is this, 227? Is this right? Let me take a look at this. Wow, this one's kind of gone up a little bit. Kind of interesting here with Cleveland and Detroit. Pistons come in here off of a win over OKC, 124-116. They didn't cover. Remember that one had the OKC with their players out, but they still got the money. So I don't know. I'm not going to fault Detroit too much in that one. They didn't cover the spread, but they're still, pretty awesome here and playing great, trying to hang on, get this number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's been a good year here. Currently 5.5 games ahead of the Celtics. I don't think they'll burn through this lead, but they're favored here against a Cleveland team that's going to have, I believe, some injury woes here a little bit in this game. I think that's affecting the spread here. Now, Evan Mobley is ruled in. He is probable now, but Spider Mitchell's out. James Harden's questionable with a broken thumb. I guess some thumbs are more broken than others. I guess if it's not your offhand for a guy like Harden, he could probably shoot it with a broken thumb. But we've got Stewart out with a suspension here for Detroit, but still favored by 6, maybe even 6.5 here at a few spots. Cleveland is 7-5 against the spread as an underdog, and Detroit just 21-15 against the spread as a favorite. But these teams met back in January. Detroit won and covered on the road as a dog, 114, 2-1-10. Cleveland is a 17-12 to the over on the road, but Detroit is 13-17 to the under at home and 19-26 to the under as a favorite here. Look, I mean, I want to go under here. Look, sometimes the move is right on a lot of these type of games. I don't know how I can characterize it. Maybe, non-tanking games, I guess, is what I'm trying to narrow it down to. But no, I'm going to go under here in this one between Cleveland and Detroit. I think this has gone a little bit. It's gone the other way. Now, the widely reported steam is on the under, and I'll tell you what. I mean, when it goes back and kicks into the over, I kind of think it has some value actually here. But let's see how you have it. I mean, obviously, if Mitchell gets in there, that's going to be a big deal. If Harden's in, that'll probably help as well. Cleveland's 13-3 straight up in their last 16. They've also won 13 of the last 15 games against the Pistons. Pistons are 6-1 in their last 7, covering 5 of those games. Detroit, though, just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games at home. Cleveland here comes in off of a loss at Milwaukee, 118-116 is a 3-point favorite, but we were on Milwaukee in that game. We've had some success with the Bucks for sure. Before that, Cleveland did beat the Knicks 109-94 at home as a 4.5-point favorite. Cleveland's gone over in 4 of their last 5. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. I think that's good enough for me. I'm going to take the under in this one. Cleveland's been trending over a little bit. This one's gone up here, but I'm going under. Let's go to the chat pros and see what they have here in this one. Jordy Fuentes joins us today on the Pistons Moneylines. Steve Leftarian is here as well. Victor Tikhonov. Oh, man, is that right, man? Oh, gosh. I guess you're right on that one. That doesn't strike that, man. Victor Tikhonov. Cleveland plus the points. Harden over for Nugget. Detroit maybe a little letdown here, says Greg. Roberts on the Cavs in this one plus the points. Look, it's still a big game. I mentioned it from Detroit's perspective. Cleveland is in 4th place. They're looking to move up. They're half a game behind the Knicks. They're actually 2.5 clear of Toronto right now. We're not really in position to start saying, what grouping, I guess, but I have started. It's hard to move up and down here right now a little bit, but Cleveland look like you can at least be a home team here, 3rd or 4th place. All right, let's see here. Greg says Cleveland in the under. Terrell says Harden can be in there. They'll wrap his thumb up. Man, if I had a broken thumb, that'd cut my sex life probably in half. Steve Leftarian says Cleveland plus the points. And Greg says he's going to sprinkle a little bit on the Cleveland money line. Now I'm going to take the under here in this one. All right, next up, we got some tanking action here with the Nets taking on the Celtics. They don't need a genius to let you know which team I'm on. Now, it could be, maybe it's a little bit too high for you. I know a lot of people are already willing to consider Brooklyn here, but I'm not. I'm sticking to the laws of the tankathon here. I think I'm just going to make it my play. The Celtics here taking on the Nets, favored by 17. And is it still 17 or is it 18? No, it's still 17.5 everywhere. The total's actually dropping here again. says 208.5. I'm already seeing some 207.5s. So what's the score of this game really going to be? I mean, are we really looking at a game here that's going to be what, 112 to 90? What is it, 112 to 95? Is that going to be the score of this game? Do I get it right? 112. Is that 17? Yeah, 112 to Greg Gibson. 112 to 95 here. You think the Celtics are only going to get 112 points against Brooklyn? I know that the Nets have such a great defense here. I know it's about the pace. I'm kind of kidding, but it doesn't seem like I don't know. These two teams are hardcore unders. So I'm just trying to, do my Greg Gibson rating, my own Greg Gibson rating here. 112 to 95. I know the Nets are having some problems, and Brooklyn and the Celtics have been involved in some bizarre scores too lately, right? They just scored only 84 points against Denver. Not saying Boston's that was a clunker. They had just won 3 straight games on the road against Golden State, the Lakers, and Phoenix, and then had to go in and play Denver. And Denver's still got some things going on. They're still competing for a spot a little bit. Celtics were tired on the trip or whatever. But in the game before that, remember the Celtics beat Phoenix 97 to 81. And we know Phoenix is kind of, I know they beat the Lakers yesterday. We were on them. But we know Phoenix is kind of having some issues here at the beginning of the stretch run. But Boston was on a roll before that. They've covered 4 of their last 5, and won 9 of their last 11. Brooklyn has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings. They actually did beat Boston earlier this year at TD, 113 to 105. And then they also covered the last game at home against Brooklyn, getting 8.5. Earlier, when Brooklyn was at Boston in November, getting 11.5, they lost by 14. Boston's gone under in 8 of their last 9 at home and 12 of their last 14 overall, but Brooklyn's gone over in 7 of its last 10. It's just that, like I said, I'm trying to see. I mean, is Boston going to be really a team that scores here just 112, 115 points? Boston is 2-8. 2-12 to the under in their last 14. 10-7 to the under, 10-17 to the under at home, 15-27 to the under as a favorite. Brooklyn's 11-18 to the under on the road. So these are hardcore unders, but this is one of the lowest unders we've seen in weeks. Let's go to the chat here with this one, maybe here. See what the injury situation's like tonight. Nothing. I mean, this thing is clear this is a totally cleared injury report right now. We're just waiting for Jason Tatum to get back in action here. Maybe see if he can get it here for the playoffs. All right, Brooklyn here. They haven't covered all month. Have they covered this month? I don't know. They're 0-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 games. Okay, here we go. Few picks from the chat here. Brooklyn 9 Legacy likes the Nets here. Justin's here this morning. See what Stacks is up to. He does have the Celtics team total over C. I knew it. I knew something was up there. Also, Greg says Boston, it's 113 to 95. There it is. Okay. Andrew will take the 17.5. Maybe the Nets can play. Maybe Boston will put their subs in, and the Nets will come back here with their I don't know who's playing for them. Robert's on Boston here. Greg says Boston in the under. Let's see. Terrell says, look, they covered, but they beat them just last November, 15 months ago or so. 139 to 114. All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Boston Celtics here in this one. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm all in on the Tankathon this time around. I'm not trying to get cute anymore. We already rolled them all yesterday. Should have been rolling them all right out of the break. Next up, The New York Knicks are on the road taking on the Boston Celtics, and the Knicks are favored here by 8.5 against the Bucks. Wow, man, what's wrong with the Bucks here? They got a bunch of injuries or something? Who's watching out for Giannis here to come back here soon? No, the Bucks have a relatively clean injury report here. The Knicks also pretty clear. Miles McBride's been out, but who else? It looks like a decent injury report here for this game. Total here, 2. Might be going down just a little bit here. Total's been on the move a little bit lower here right now in this one. Bucks come in here off of a pair of wins over Cleveland and Miami. Covered them both. Well, they were underdog in the Cleveland game, but won. But they were underdog. Wow, Milwaukee was underdog in both those games. I mean, we've been rolling with the Bucks here. 3-1, straight up and against the spread, out of the break here so far. The Knicks, they lost last time out, as we said, to Cleveland, 109-94. Now, they did have a couple of wins over Houston and Chicago, but they're 0-4 against the spread out of the All-Star break here. Milwaukee's 20-16 as an underdog this season. They've covered 8 of their last 10 games coming in, and they've won 5 of their last 6, covering all 5 of those games. Now, the Knicks are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 meetings against the Milwaukee Bucks. But, I don't know, that was maybe when the teams were maybe a little bit more evenly matched. They played back in November. The Knicks won 118-109, covering 7.5 at home, but Milwaukee won the previous meeting. I like Milwaukee in this game. I'm taking the Bucks here, plus these points. The Bucks have been money without Giannis. That's been kind of the key here. All right, let's see what you have in the chat. Bucks have gone over in 5 of their last 7 meetings with the Knicks, and they've gone over in 4 of their last 6. The Knicks are under in 13 of their last 19 games overall. But I'm going to take the Bucks here. All right, let's see what we got. Justin says take over here in this one. He's also got a prop here with Brunson. Good morning to Bar in the chat. Terrell says Cat can have a big game here tonight because Milwaukee cannot contain him. Andrew K., you look at back-to-back posts about Cat having a big night. Barr had a big night on the college scene, and he's going to take the Bucks here plus the points. Jordy's on the Bucks money line here. I don't mind that. Greg's prediction, score prognostication there. And Steve Leftarian says the Bucks will cover as well. I'm taking the Bucks. All right, next up, we got the Grizzlies. I feel bad. Yesterday we took some of these teams and said we're not going to cover you because we got too many games and you guys aren't. But tonight we're going to cover them because we only got 5 games. Memphis here on the road, 3.5-point dogs to the Dallas Mavericks here, 4.5-point dogs. Now Dallas has gone up. Dallas has won 2 of their last 3 games. Watch out. They beat Indy and Brooklyn. They actually lost to the Kings last night. What happened? A little steam coming in here right now in college action. Also, we're getting those FIBA finals. Spain just walloped Ukraine, 86-66. FIBA action last couple of nights here. Anyway, Siena just got steamed in their matchup against Fairfield. I mentioned the steam came in on the under in that game, right? But right now, Siena just got steamed from a pick'em to -1.5 here, maybe even 2 right now, as Siena takes the steam here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, Grizzlies and Mavs, we're talking right now. So Dallas, like I said, they've won 2 of 3. They've also won 2 of their last 11. But short term, beat some crummy teams. And look, Memphis qualifies as a crummy team. Okay, so we'll see here, laying the points possibly with the Dallas Mavericks here. Let's see what you have here. Oh, a little bit more steam. How about it? Georgia Southern getting steamed here in college ball in their game against Marshall. The steam already came in on the over in that game between Georgia Southern and Marshall. Right now, Georgia Southern is getting steamed. They were getting 7. They were getting 7.5 when the line came out. It's down to 6 here. Georgia Southern just took the steam here moments ago. All right, see what you got here in this one. Dallas is also they're 3-1 against the spread out of the break here so far. Look, they're missing their star here. We know that, but the rest of the crew's been doing pretty good here. Although PJ Washington questionable, Gafford questionable right now for the Grizzlies here. Ty Jerome is doubtful. Anderson's out, Coward's out, Aldama's out, KCP still out. Lots of injuries for Memphis. But like I said, they just played some crummy teams too and didn't look too good. They came out of the break with a win over Utah, but have since lost to Miami, Sacramento, and Golden State. Hey, there's some steam coming in right now on the Illinois Fighting Illini here in the game against Michigan. Right now, Michigan was up to a 2.5-point favorite. They're down to 1. The steam has come in on that big game tonight on Illinois against Michigan. Wow. All right, see what you got here. Anything? We're talking Memphis and Dallas here. Memphis has 1 in cover. Anybody watching the tennis? I was watching Rublev come in here. You know how they hold the hand of the child as they come in. You got to see this. Oh, boy. They got a man-child out there. Okay. Memphis has won and covered 6 straight meetings between these two teams, including twice already this season. They beat Dallas here 102-96 back in November. Also, earlier in November, Memphis won at home 118-104. Got a little more steam here, man. Dartmouth and Penn steam to the over in this one. It was 153, but Dartmouth and Penn getting a little steam here for two teams that kind of play unders. Dartmouth and Penn up to 155.5, so at least a 2-point move, maybe a little more there to the over in that one. All right, I'm going to try Dallas here. Spread's gone down a little bit, actually, huh? 4.5 was 5.5, so I'm going to go with Dallas here. They have a little life here right now. Memphis with all these injuries, not a great game here, but I'm going to take Dallas in this one. Dallas is just 7-12 as a favorite, but don't worry, Memphis is 14-23 against the spread as an underdog. Memphis has been totally going over here of late, and you see the total here is up to 240. Man, I was on a show last night saying go over 237, but now it's up to 240 here right now. Memphis has gone over in 9 of its last 11. Dallas has gone over in 6 of its last 8, although 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone under. Memphis is, like I said, they've won 6 straight against these guys overall and covered them all. So you do have that to overcome, but what are we doing here with Memphis and Dallas? Let's go to the chat. Okay. And VAR likes the under here in this one. Greg Gibson says Dallas in the under. VAR says that's a hard game, that Michigan-Illinois. VAR Twisted, I think. Oh, he's talking about the other game there. VAR says that game's been going back and forth all morning. You guys are already on that. I got to get to the college games here. All right, let's see. Jermaine says, "What is he saying? Something with the logo of Penn today? What's going on?" Hello to Stop Geo in the chat. Terrell says Mavs will pull away late in the second half. Take it, maybe the extendo. I think he's saying there. Also, lean over. Look at the last 2 or 3. Is that what he says? Look at the last 2 or 3 games overall. I mean, Dallas. Look, Dallas. Yeah, 251, 237, 264. Memphis, 245, 237, 256. Great point there by Jermaine. No wonder it's gone up to 240, huh? Art Thompson's on Dallas. Jordy's on Dallas on the money line. And let's see here. Twisted's got some more action there in the college game. Okay, that's it for that one. All right, let's go to. I think this is the game of the night, even though we know the other game's good too with the Cavs and the Pistons. But how about we go to the Nuggets taking on the Thunder here? Got the Thunder here favored by 8.5 total. 233.5 in this one. Now, good news, SGA is expected back. I think it's built into the line, so to speak, right? But still, the Nuggets, now Murray is questionable. We'll see. He's been bothered by a little bit of an illness. Spencer Jones, questionable. Jalen Pickett, questionable. Strother is probable. But for the Thunder, Mitchell still out, Carlson out, guard Jalen Williams still out here. So some guys are still missing for the Thunder. Now, Chet Holmgren's back to probable, Hartenstein's probable, so they're shoring it up. SGA probable, Caruso probable here. Isaiah Joe also back in. So Oklahoma City getting healthy real quick. I mean, look, their slump, if you will, they had injuries. You probably they probably felt comfortable enough to rest some guys along the way once they knew they weren't going to be the record-setting team. But look, they're still only ahead of the Spurs by 2 games, so they'll feel the pressure to win some of these games. Still, you're up against the Nuggets. How will the Nuggets approach this one? Will they, could they take a pass on this one, actually? Could they rest a top player? I don't think they can afford to if they're going to compete, but look, they're an underdog here. And the Thunder, okay, let's see what you have. I think mostly important here, like I said, is not so much, yes, the Thunder are 2 games ahead of the Spurs, but the Nuggets are still battling. They're in 4th place. You want to finish in the top 4. They're actually tied with the Rockets, although it trailed them by a game in the loss column. But they're ahead of the Wolves by a game, ahead of the Lakers by 2. Thunder coming in off the win over Boston, right? Now you got to go back out on the road. They do have some, road. They beat Portland on the road, but they have recent road losses to the Clippers and Golden State. OKC did cover in that game against Detroit. I was on OKC in that game despite all the injury woes in that game. And before that, they had wins and covers over Toronto, Cleveland, and Brooklyn. They're actually 4-0 against the spread out of the break, are the Oklahoma City Thunder. This totals up to 233. It does seem like it should be an over to me. Oklahoma City's gone over in 9 of its last 12. Oklahoma City's gone over in 7 of their last 9. And 6 of the last 9 meetings between the 2 teams have gone over. So we feel uncomfortable that maybe, Denver could take one off, but I'm still going to take Denver here. They are 20-12 against the spread on the road, 14-7 against the spread as an underdog. It's kind of a good roll for them. Oklahoma City, they're not any world beaters against the spread as a home favorite, that's for sure. Now, often they're caught laying too many points. This is quite a few points. This ain't some tank job here. I'm going to take the Nuggets in this one. go to the chat, see what you guys have with the Nuggets taking on the Thunder tonight. All right, here we go to the chat. VAR's on the Nuggets. Twisted's playing over in the Akron game tonight. There's Jermaine. He's got Wells under, and let's see, points there. He's 1-13 of the over when Jerome is in. Okay, you guys are talking college ball in there. Greg says the Thunder bounce back and get the crushing victory. Greg's obviously got the Thunder here, big time. Nine Legacy's on the Nuggets. Justin likes the over in this one. Terrell says OKC to send a message to this Denver Nuggets team. Art Thompson's on the over. And Greg says they'll beat them tonight. Jordy says Denver on the money line and maybe Jokic for a double-double. Okay, that's it for the NBA. I'm on the Nuggets. All right, thanks a lot, gang. We're going to move it on here. We're going to keep it in basketball, of course, right now. And we'll go to our college. You guys are already talking a little bit about this one with Yale and Cornell. I'm going to go to it here. Look, we're looking at some of the bigger games today in college basketball, games that mean something maybe in the conference standings. Yale's in first place, of course, with a 9-2 record. Harvard is 8-3. Cornell's 5-6, but we know it's come down to the end here with Yale and Harvard. 3 games left in the season, currently in the regular season. Remember, the Ivy League used to not play in the conference tournament, but they do now. Nowadays, and Yale is favored. Yale's up to 4.5 here right now. Total 165.5. So Yale's been on the move, and why not? I mean, they've been the hotter team here. Actually been rolling here with a winning streak right now. And funny is, they're winning, but they're not covering for the most part. Yale right now. Rublev and Greek Spore underway here. As Greek Spore, it's on serve here. Match just started here. What's going on with these guys here? Oh, people are just taking their seats still. Okay, here we go. All right, Yale comes in having won 5 straight, but they're just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. They're winning, but not covering. Yale's covered 4 of the last 5 meetings, however, against the Big Red. In fact, they played back in January. Yale won at 102-68 as a 9.5-point favorite. Yale, they covered that one. I guess they cover against Cornell, but I mean, cover against everybody, including Cornell, or maybe everyone but Cornell. I don't know. Cornell's 1-6 against the spread at home this season, just 2-6 against the spread as an underdog. At least Yale's 7-5 against the spread on the road, 9-12 against the spread as a favorite. Cornell's actually just 1-6 in their last 7 games. What'd I say? At home? Man. Cornell also is Yale is 4-1 against the spread, like I said, against Cornell, although at home, Cornell's 4-1 against the spread. Yeah, but Cornell's not covering anything right now. Cornell is 6-2 to the over as an underdog here, but at 165 points here, 166. I don't know if I know these Ivy League games are going high, but usually when Yale's on the road in these weeknight, Friday night games, I don't know, I might be going off the eye test here, but man, never gets to 165. It barely gets to 160. All right, Yale's got a great offense. We know that. They're top 50 in points here, but Cornell's not. Cornell's practically near the bottom in offense, bottom in defense. They're top 10 in scoring, Cornell. So that's part of it. That's why it's rated so high here. Cornell always, they're top 10 in scoring, but they've gone under in 8 of their last 10. So I don't know which way it's going necessarily. Like I said, I just sounded confused anyways, didn't I? Let's go to the chat in this one. I need help, huh? Among other things. 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone over. But like I said, Cornell's been going under 6 straight right now. And Yale's gone over in 4 of their last 5. What did you guys say earlier in this game? Okay, here we go. Twisted says Yale and over. Greg says 85-80 for Yale. Justin's on Cornell in this one. Nuke's got Yale. Greg says Yale in the under. R. Thompson's on the under. We're all over the place in this one. Everybody's on something else. Twisted said a comfortable win here. Be 30-30 at halftime. Cornell starts strong at home, says Twisted. Said in January the game was how many points? 100. That's what they scored in that one? Jeez, that's a high. That is a high score. Robert's on Yale. All right, Yale's been hot. I'll take Yale in this one. All right, we got to check in on the MAC here with Miami of Ohio. Come on. 28-0 right now for Miami of Ohio. The only undefeated team left. We know the storylines. It's just, can they get there laying a dozen points on the road? Is it just too much at this point, even against a Western Michigan team that is just 10-18 overall this season? And they're not exactly the greatest of covers, 10-12 against the spread as an underdog. Look, Miami of Ohio is 10-2 against the spread on the road, 15-6 against the spread as a favorite. Yeah, maybe they racked up some of those numbers, early on when, I don't want to say, I mean, they were catching everybody's attention when they were 12-0. Miami O has covered their last 5 in a row here, but they're just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games against Western Michigan. Western Michigan has failed to cover 6 of their last 8 and 7 of their last 10. They've actually lost 9 of their last 12 overall. 14 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but come on, these two teams have combined to go 33-18 to the over this season. Miami of Ohio's 15-6 to the over as a favorite. Western Michigan has 14-8 to the over as a dog. I guess, on the road, Miami of Ohio, they've gone under just 8 times. 6 of them were on the road. Western Michigan's gone over in 4 of their last 5, but Miami's gone under in 6 of their last 7 games overall. Let's go to the chat here with Miami of Ohio laying 12 points on the road. Can they get it done here? I know the Sharps are going to be on Western Michigan, but I don't know if I can do it. Let's see what you have in the chat. Not much here probably in this one. Nuke says I have the total wrong there? No, you might be talking about something else there. I think he's talking about the game there with Yale and Cornell. I think maybe he's saying it'll be 170 points in that one. It's funny because so a couple books opened that game at 170 actually. Okay. R. Thompson's on the over. Twisted says, give him Miami O. Gibson ratings here, though, I think is going to be on Western Michigan and the under there. Robert likes the over. Lay it, says Twisted. Keep on laying it with this Miami O team right now. I mean, come on, they're covering them left and right. The teams met back in January. It was 87-76. They did not cover 14.5 there in that one. So just to make it clear, Western Michigan did get the money in that one. So that kind of, still, like I said, what is it? I have it on 12 on screen, 12.5 here. Because I don't really see any 12 and a halves out there. Let me take off the hook. In fact, I see an 11 and a half. So maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of a move here to Western Michigan. All right. Hey, I guess got to make my call here in this one between Miami of Ohio and Western Michigan. I like Miami of Ohio. I'm going to take them here and lay the points on the road to keep on going right now. I think they, it's become a deal here. I think if they can go, here's the other thing, a lot of people talking. I think Mike talking about it yesterday on the show, but look, he was, I think, because they're talking. If this Miami of Ohio team loses here in the conference tournament, could they still get accepted? Let's say they finish off the regular season here, winning all the games, and finish. You figure 31-0, and I don't think they'll lose any of the first round. I think they get a big time bye in this tournament too. So say they're 32-1. Would they really keep them out of the NCAA tournament, or would they go find some team that is probably more deserving on the power ratings and say, hey, we need to reward this team? So I think Miami O has motivation to make sure they keep on winning here. All right. And Terrell says, though, look, you got to play Toledo next. And, Toledo, they're a pretty good team. And of course, it's more of maybe more of a rivalry game here than just playing Western Michigan, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the big one. You guys already talked about it a little bit. Steam's come in. What are you going to do? The move is on Illinois. Do you believe the move? If you like Michigan, you're getting a discount right now. Not, I don't know if it's a huge discount, but they're down here obviously to 1.5. One or 1.5. That's for sure. Got to update the graphic. Total here is up to 158 at least here, maybe even 158.5. I'm still going to leave it at -1, but there's 1.5, some 1.5s out there as well. Illinois has had a few issues here of late. They just lost to UCLA on the road, 95-94. They have other losses too, to Wisconsin at home and to Michigan. They've actually stumbled a little bit here. Michigan, meanwhile, okay, they lost the game to Duke. I mean, it was one of those setup games. They played the neutral site. Maybe Duke is always at home in those games. So you got Michigan going in to play Duke. Remember, in where was it? In Nashville, and was it Nashville? Right? It was in Washington D.C. That's right. And it was 68-63. It was a good game. I mean. Duke got there, pulled away or whatever, and Michigan bounced back and won over Minnesota 77-67. They didn't cover; they were laying 22 points in that one. But Michigan is not a great cover. We know that. But look, this is a game they just need to win. They haven't lost on the true road all season long. Their 2 losses, for Michigan. Talking about teams on a roll here. We talk about Miami of Ohio, but for Michigan, their loss, other than Duke, of course, was to Wisconsin at home back on January 10th. But Michigan just 5-7 against the spread on the road, 12-14 against the spread as a favorite. For Illinois, they're 9-7 against the spread at home. Some decent numbers for Illinois. They're a decent cover here. But like I said, they have failed here a couple games of late. In fact, Illinois here right now, just 13-7 against the spread in their last 20 games, but 2-3 against the spread in their last 5. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over. But like I said, the steam came in on the over, but these two teams are kind of under teams. Michigan 11-17 to the under. Illinois 12-16 to the under. They've gone under of the Illini in 10 of 16 games at home, and Michigan's 11-15 to the under as a favorite. Michigan's gone under in 9 of their last 13 here right now. So let's see what you have here in this one. A little bit of breaking news here I'm seeing on the news feed right now. It looks like
final.
The Dallas Cowboys will place the franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens today. That way they'll secure his rights for the 2026 season. That just breaking here right now. Pickens will get the franchise tag from the Cowboys. All right, I'm looking for your picks here with Michigan and Illinois. Here we go to the chat. A lot of opinions here, it looks like. All right. Over for Barr. Twisted's on the over. He's on Illinois. R. Thompson's on the over. Greg says Michigan bounces back here in this. Well, they won last game, but I know what you're saying off the big Duke game there. Michigan and under for Greg. Justin took Illinois here. And it says it's going to be rocking there in Champaign-Urbana. A lot of folks on here, Illinois tonight. Wow. Robert's on Michigan, though. Oh, Nelly. All right. See what you got here. I mean, with Illinois with that great offense, of course. Top 25 scoring offense. Michigan's a top 10 scoring offense right now as well. But, these teams have good defense too, especially Michigan. All right, I guess I got to make my call here in this one. All right, I'm going to go with the under here with Illinois and Michigan. You guys have a lot of split. I'm not going to be the tiebreaker. Give me the under. I'll take it at 158. Just seems like when Illinois gets matched up with elite teams at home, it's not as offensive as you might seem right now. And like I said, these teams are kind of under teams here, combined 23 and 33 to the under. Yeah, the meeting this year already went, or the last time they met, let me see here, 93-73 that was last March. 93-73 there. That was a regular season game, though, right? That one went over. All right. When was the last time Michigan beat Illinois, says Justin, in college basketball, right? Illinois has dominated this series. Illinois has gone 8-1 against the spread in the last 9 meetings between these two teams. Michigan's just 5-10 against the spread in their last 15 overall. All right. There's Twisted. He's got the answer for us. Thank you, Twisted. That's cool. 2009. That's before the pandemic. All right, that's it for. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, I've got to go to. Oh man, I got to go to the. I got to go to the wacky, wild and wacky Sun Belt Conference here and listen to what's going on here. Okay, this is the last day of the regular season in the Sun Belt. 4 teams are tied for first place at 11-6. 3 teams are tied for fifth place, I guess, at 10-7. I don't think. Now, look, none of the 11-6 teams play each other. So conceivably they all could lose, and all 3 of the 10 and 7 teams could win, and they could finish in a 7-way tie for first place. That'd be cool. But obviously, any of the 11 and 6 teams, like Appalachian State here, can win and get at least a share of the title. I don't think they're all going to lose. The 4 teams tied atop are Troy, App State, Marshall, and South Alabama. Troy plays Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe is one of the worst teams in the country. They're 1-17 in conference play. So Troy practically guaranteed a win. Appalachian State plays this game here, Texas State. This is the closest rated game of Pick'em. Marshall plays Georgia Southern. South Alabama plays Southern Miss. Not even one of those 10 and 7 teams, amazingly enough. This is the only game right here that matches an 11 and 6 team against a 10 and 7 team. So let's see what you got, though, here. Appalachian State taking on Texas State in the wacky Sun Belt. App State comes in here 19 and 11. Texas State comes in here 18 and 12. Texas State has been the hotter team of late, even though they lost last time out to Louisiana, 94-67 on the road. They got blown out. That ended a winning streak as Texas State has been hot and moved themselves kind of into position here, but they're still going to end up here a notch short probably. For App State, they come in here off of a win over Georgia Southern at home, 89-74 is a 7-point favorite. But then before that, they lost to Marshall and to JMU. So this one's rated here as a pick'em right now. Appalachian State's covered 13 of their last 20. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10. App State's covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. This is the first meeting, though, between the two teams this season. Texas State won last time they were home against App State, but that was in 2024. Last year, App State won at home 72-61. App State comes in 9-5 against the spread on the road, but Texas State is 9-5 against the spread at home. Texas State's won 7 of its last 8, covering 6 of those. They're 15-1 straight up at home this season. Talking about Texas State here. App State may be the better cover, but Texas State really doesn't lose at home. Texas State's gone under in 6 of their last 9. Appalachian State's gone under in 6 of their last 9. But the widely reported team did come in on the over here. I have a feeling it was as low as 132. It's up to 135. Well, it's actually gone down a little bit. Let me update that. Might be I'll call it 134. I see 133.5 out there. All right. I'm going to take Texas State here at home. They got a great home court this year, and I'll take them here to beat App State in this one. Look, App State, you can, all they got to do is win to get the share of the title, but Texas State here, I'm going to take them at home. All right, do we have a lot of opinions on this game here? We got some new folks coming into the show tonight. Here is Twisted on App State. Justin's on Texas State here. AOD is here, everybody. Hooray. Bar's on Texas State. Robert's on Texas State. All right, and let's see here. Greg, the Gibson ratings on Texas State to get it done. He likes the under as well. Art Tomps is on Texas State. All right, one more here. We still got some hockey. 4 games on the ice tonight. Stick around. We're going to go one more back here to the MAC. Look, Miami of Ohio, they have a 1-game lead. Despite their 28-0 record and undefeated in conference play, obviously, Akron comes in here just a game back. So we got to talk about the Zips here. They've had a great season here. Right now, they are 23-5 overall, 14-1 in conference play. Kent is in third place. That's what makes this game so good. Kent's at home, and they are 12-3 in conference play, 21-7 overall here. Akron's a road favorite, and this is a good Kent team that comes in here having won 4 in a row. Kent State with wins over Eastern Michigan, Ball State, Bowling Green, and Central Michigan. 4 straight wins. However, just 1-3 against the spread. In fact, they're not very good against the spread. Kent is just 10-16 against the spread this season, 6-8 against the spread at home. Akron 7-4 against the spread on the road. This is only the 4th time this season Kent State's been an underdog. They are 1-2 against the spread as a dog this season. The two teams met back in January, and Akron won 69-52. Akron's dominated this series against Kent here of late. Akron's won 6 straight meetings and went 5-1 against Kent here. So that does throw a little bit of a wrinkle into things to think about, as Akron has fared so well against Kent State here. Golden Flashes have gone under in 6 of their last 9. Akron comes in here just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. 13 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Kent is 11-3 to the over at home, but Akron's 2-9 to the under on the road. How's it going to go? See what you guys have here. Kent is still 13-2 straight up at home, and Akron has lost 3 times on the road this season. I know Akron's dominated them here, but I'm going to take Kent State. I'm taking Kent at home plus the points here. It should still be a nail biter, shouldn't it? Let's go to the chat. This is it. This is it for the colleges today. Okay, here's an over for Twisted. He says you gotta go over. Okay, let's see here. Justin says Texas State did lose at home there to Arkansas State. Good morning to Sports Money in the chat. Gibson ratings on Akron here, 83-81. Let's see here. There's Greg. He says what? Kent State in the under. Robert's on the over here. Terrell talking about those Kent losses. Yeah, 13. What did I say? Did I say undefeated? 13-2. I said it right? 13-2 at home. Home losses to Miami of Ohio. Thought it was. Let me see here. And Troy. Well, it's Troy. That's a non-league game. Well, it's a non-league game, but an evenly matched game, right? Okay, I'm taking Kent. All right, let's move on to a little hockey action here, and that'll wrap up the show. Okay, here we go. Let's get it started here in the NHL. All right, Vegas Golden Knights on the road taking on the Caps here in this one. And you can have the Caps here, $1.15. Total here, 5.5 over 20 as we get the hockey portion of the program started. Golden Knights come in here 28, 16, and 14. Washington 30, 23, and 7. But Vegas comes in having won 3 in a row. Here, won their first game out of the break 6-4 over the Kings in a score fest. Washington, meanwhile, beat Philadelphia in their first game out of the break 3-1. They had been hot heading into the break, and both teams kind of putting it down here a little bit here of late. The Golden Knights come in here having won 6 of the last 9 meetings against Washington, but they are just 2-6 here in the last 8 years against the Caps. Caps come in here having won 4 of their last 5 at home, 5 of their last 6 overall. So they were a little bit warm coming into the break. Washington's gone under in 4 of its last 5. Vegas has gone over in 5 of their last 6 on the road and over in 7 of their last 10 overall coming into this one. The teams did play, have not played their, this is the first meeting between the 2 teams, so they'll still meet again, I believe, here this season. Washington's actually won the last 2 meetings here. They won here last year 4-2 for their home game against Vegas last season. Let's hear from you guys in the chat here with Vegas here and Washington. Get us started here. Our 4-game card tonight. Hill and Thompson. Let me make sure. Let me fire up the old goalie computer here. See who's actually confirmed yet. Nobody, I don't think, yet today. But all right, I'm going to the chat here. Here we go. Okay, let's see here. I want to say hello to Bread Chasing Brian. It's great to have Bread Chasing Brian, new commenter in the chat. Thank you, Brian, for being here. He says the Golden Knights are hot right now. He also says anytime the Sabres are rolling, you can't fade them. Well, we'll talk about that game here in just a moment. Thank you, too, Bread Chasing Brian. Nunya's in the chat. All right. Greg likes the Caps here, 3-2. Robert's on the Caps as well. And let's see here. Bread Chasing Brian says, I got a little bit of a Golden Knights here. Oh, he says plus money. Is it shifted? Let me get on that right away. And then the Caps are a slight favorite. But, you know, Knights are the underdog for sure. Might still be a little bit of minus money. But, you know, I know what you're saying for sure. Taking the dog there. And I don't know. Are we going to Little Caesars in there? We got some crazy bread in the chat. What's going on in there? All right. Well, I'm going to take the Washington Capitals here at home over the Vegas Golden Knights. Give me Washington tonight in this one. All right. How about those Sabres right now? Coming in here, they won. Look, they had actually lost their last 2 games into the break against Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. They had lost like 3 of 4, but came out strong. Win at New Jersey. First game out. Florida looked good. They beat Toronto 5-1. I whipped on that one. Toronto kind of owns Florida, but Florida put it down on them that game. All right, for Buffalo here, look, this is still a tough game no matter what, even if Florida, look, the thing is the pressure's on Florida, man. They got to go, and they got to go now. I mean, they got to win at least, I don't know, they got to win, feels like 16 or 17 of these last games just to have a chance to make the playoffs. So it might be too little too late for Florida. They were struggling into the break too, but Florida's lost 5 of its last 7. They've lost 8 of their last 12 at home. Buffalo's won 6 of their last 7 on the road here. They are just 4-14 against the Panthers in their last 18 games. Buffalo's won 7 of 10. Now, Buffalo is coming in here rested. Meanwhile, Florida, that game was last night, 5-1. So Buffalo, a little bit of rest here. Oh, I don't have the Panther goalie listed there. But is it? I think it's Bob, right? Sorry about that. bad graphics, man. There we go. Florida comes in here 24-17 to the over as a favorite, but Buffalo's 13-17 to the under as an underdog. Florida's 34-24 to the over this season. Buffalo's gone over in 12 of their last 18. Florida's gone over here in 7 of their last 9, but 9 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams have gone under, although the meeting back in February here on February 2nd was 5-3 Buffalo at Florida. Won that game. They also met back in January. Florida won in Buffalo 4-3. Go to the chat here in this one, see what you have with these two. The great thing about this hockey card, you got no $2 favorites here. Everything I think is $1.40 or better. Here's Greg, says 4-3 Buffalo. Robert's on the over here. He also likes Buffalo. And our Tom said it. There it is. Who is the goalie? I think it'll be Bob. We'll see here. But we got to have it on the screen. That's what she means. Our Tom's on the Sabres here. And what does Greg say here? Buffalo, Capitals, Thunder, and Boston. Why not have a 14 parlay today with 4 games? Why not? Like I said, great card for hockey betting. I mean, where do you see it where you get, at any time, 4 games in a row, dollar? Well, I want to say $1.30 or better, but I think Utah's about $1.40. But still, this is a good betting card here tonight, no doubt. All right. I got to make my call on this one. Look, I don't want to fade these Buffalo Sabres right now. The Panthers look pretty good, but, man, it just seems like Buffalo just continues to come up clutch. Florida needs to win so bad right now. Buffalo did win here 5-3, like we said, last game, right? Man, the Panthers. Give me Buffalo. Give me Buffalo in this one. I'll take Buffalo. Might be maybe it's a hunch play. I'm not going premium here. All right. No other comments from the chat on that one. Let's go to the Wild taking on the Mammoth here. Mammoth 34-24-4. Minnesota 35-14-10. Mikey's. Is Mikey still in the chat? What did Mikey tell me yesterday? He listed. I think he put the Detroit Red Wings in the mediocre category, which is, I guess it's fair, but there was only 7 or 8 teams, maybe only 7 teams ahead of them in the standings. All right, for the Wild here, they're hot. They're hot. You got to remind everybody that they're hot, right? They won out of the break here over Colorado 5-2, but it's been a winning streak here right now for the Wild, no doubt about it. Winning streak heading here into the break, and then they win right out of the break here right now. Minnesota's won 6 straight. They've lost 4 of their last 5, though, to Utah. Utah comes in here 6-2 their last 8 games at home. Utah's 11-5 straight up in their last 16. They played well also heading into the break, although they did lose Colorado the other night 4-2. Still, Colorado 7. Let me fix my milk. Utah here 17-9 at home. Minnesota's 18-8 on the road. They're terrific. Also, Minnesota an impressive 15-9 as an underdog here. But man, Utah's sharp and playing well at home. They've owned this series for the most part of late. Here, Utah's won 4 straight meetings between the two teams. I said 4 out of 5, but it's actually 4 in a row here. They met back in the last meeting was 6-2. Utah won it. All right, let's go to the chat here. We're almost done with the show. Greg says 4-3 in favor of the Mammoth. He's got this one as a quote unquote wild one. Minnesota is 19-10 to the over on the road. Utah's 16-12 to the over at home. Minnesota's 14-10 to the over as a dog. They've gone over in 6 straight on the road, and only 13 of the last 14 games have gone over for Minnesota. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over here. It's got to go over, I would think, in this one. Art Thompson's on the Mammoth here. I'm going to go over here with Minnesota and Utah. Give me the over here. All right, one more tonight. And, okay, look, is it going to be Hellebuck? Is he ready to go here, or is it still going to be Comrie here? Look, you want to have Hellebuck in there. You got to look at it as a big letdown, right? I mean, as good as he's been, as great as he was in the Olympics, man. Look, good game here, obviously. Jets and Anaheim. Anaheim favored in this one, but these two teams are already massive over teams, even Hellebuck. Anaheim 14-4 to the over as a favorite. Winnipeg 15-7 to the over as a dog here. And it just feels like Hellebuck's going to have a letdown. I think. Anaheim comes in off of the wild win over Edmonton 6-5. I mean, we just saw a crazy game from Anaheim. Anaheim playing well into the break as well. They've won 10 of their last 12, 6 straight at home. Winnipeg's lost 12 of their last 16 on the road. They have won 15 of the last 20 meetings, but this Anaheim team has been so good this year. They're much better, it feels like, than Winnipeg right now. Winnipeg's 5-17 as an underdog. I'm going to go with the Ducks here in this one. Give me the Ducks over Winnipeg. I figure you got to. These two teams are combined 68 and 46 to the over. So you just saw a 6-5 game with Anaheim. And like I said, I think it's going to go kablooey for Hellebuck. I don't want to say it like that. That sounds bad. But shout out Commerce, Michigan. I think they've changed it to Connors, Michigan. Connors, Michigan. For Connor Hellebuck, the pride of Commerce, Michigan. But we'll see. I hope he's ready. But you might see him be if he's in here. I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of a difficult time here if the Ducks. I mean, they were lighting up the lamp the other night against the Oilers, weren't they? That was a crazy game. Winnipeg's gone under in 4 of their last 5 right now. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Anaheim have gone under. But I'm going to go with the Ducks here. Let's see what you got in the chat. Brian says the Wild played a physical game last night against the Avs there in that Wild game. Robert's on the over in the late game. Art Thompson's on the over. Greg has it as a blowout here for the Ducks tonight. Hey, you know what? I will say this: you got a road goalie to probably get a standing ovation. And what Mike said yesterday on the show about Tkachuk, I mean, you got to agree with that. I mean, gosh, terrible what the White House, putting words in somebody's mouth like that. Just goes to show you that their social media team has no clue, no filter, no clue. All right, it's going to do it here for the Morning Steam Show. Have a great sports betting day, everybody. I have a college baseball card coming out here over at winnable.com. Let's hear from Mikey. Hopefully he's still here. He should come on and do a live commercial. Let's go to the commercial here. We'll do the drawing.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, like I said, I'll have a college baseball card today. That's what I'm kind of focused on here, actually, with the short card here in college basketball today in the NBA and NHL. So games start here in about an hour. Big card today. It's Friday, so we're going to get lots of good pitching. We'll see here. All right, let's take a look here at the drawing. Winner gets 1 month of plays over at Winnable. We got Greg. We got Nunya. We've got Nine Legacy. We've got Nug in there. Var, Ron, and the winner is Jim Duiger. Thank you, Jim. I'll extend your subscription another month. I think you're in there. If not, use the promo code WINNER to get signed up over there and get 1 month of plays from me. You know what? I had a little slump, and we had some cancellations in there. So hopefully you're signed up, man. It's just 41 cents a day. Why wouldn't you be supporting me here on the channel? You know, I've seen a lot of, hey, it's a tout life. I'm in the tout life, okay? I'm into the tout life. So, look, I'd rather count on your support here to keep me going here. So please subscribe over there for 41 cents a day at winnable.com. It's $19.95 a month. You throw in the promo code in there, and it comes out to $17.10. Keeps me coming back here every day, so check it out over at winnable.com. All right, that's going to do it here for the morning steam. Mikey Money gets you going here at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. Note the start time here now for pre-gaming. New start time here. Get you ready for the action. Baseball coming up here soon. So Mikey's has that new time slot, and get those baseball. Those we know there's more 6:30 games now, more than ever. So got to get on the air earlier here with Mikey Money and join him for pre-gaming here today. Also, make sure you check out VB MMA picks for our preview here for this weekend, for tomorrow. UFC card will be here, remember, at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific from Mexico City for the companion stream tomorrow. Hey, make sure you're signed up with me or with Mikey for his picks over there at Winnable. I'll have my card coming out here today for the UFC card tomorrow. All right, thanks everybody for joining me here on the Morning Steam, and have a great day. For the Sports Money Network.
That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.